Hello and welcome to another chess game. In this video we are going to continue the coverage of the Clutch Chess online tournament. Just a quick recap, so the finals is played between Caruana and Carlsen, and in the first day they were dead even, so they had 4 points. In the second day Carlsen managed to win 2 games while Caruana won only 1 game, up to the 11th round when we are going to join the tournament. So now I'm going to cover game 11, which is a game that Caruana is playing with white. Actually, this is his last white game, so he's down by 1 point. So this is his chance to strike actually, and so this game is worth 3 points. So yeah, that's a lot. So if Caruana manages to win, then he not only equalizes the number of wins, but in terms of points, he would take the lead. Yeah, and actually this is this so-called clutch game, and next to these many points there is also $13,000 on the line, so whoever wins this game gets an additional $13,000. So let's go to the game. So Caruana plays e4, as he usually does in games that very much matters for him. Carlsen plays c5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop b5. So far this is the similar opening that they played in game 6. I also have a video about that, but in that game Carlsen played e6. However, in this game he plays e5. The tactical justification of the move is that even though it seems like white can win a pawn with bishop takes c6, this is actually not true, because after d takes c6, knight takes e5, black has queen d4. That is actually a double attack. Both the pawn and the knight would be hanging, and black takes the pawn back and he will have the 2 bishops, so this is a no-go for white. So for exactly this reason Caruana just castled, and now Carlsen played bishop d6. So this is to protect the pawn. Now white plays c3, black plays a6, Caruana moves with the bishop, black chases further, and bishop c2. Now Carlsen continues developing with knight g7, and Caruana plays d3. Black continues further with knight g6, Caruana plays bishop e3, castles, and knight d2. So far everything looks somewhat normal. The only non-normal move is bishop d6, so the bishop on d6, but Carlsen just moves away with the bishop, plays bishop e7. Now Caruana plays bishop b3 to have some control over the d5 square, or actually the whole diagonal, and Carlsen plays d6 to develop his bishop sooner or later. Now the white bishop goes to d5, so this is actually quite an unpleasant pin for black, and white plays queen e8. And this is the position when Caruana decided to open up the game, so far kind of close position, and plays d4. So black plays e takes d4, and now c takes d4. And so as I mentioned, this pin is very unpleasant, so black plays rook b8. But now you can see that black's development is actually, black is behind in development, and now that the position is opening up, it's not that comfortable anymore for Carlsen. So white plays rook c1, and there is immediately a threat of d takes c5, and there is also this pin on the c file, so the pawn cannot take because the knight would be hanging. So Carlsen decides to sacrifice a pawn, but to be honest, it's actually hard to advise any other move. So he plays knight b4. So this c5 pawn is hanging, but he didn't protect it. So we will see what his plan was in the game. So white just takes on c5, d takes c5, and bishop takes c5. So now white is up a pawn. However, black plays knight takes d5, and after e takes d5, this d5 pawn is actually, at this point in the game, this is more of a weakness than a strong pawn. However, black is still behind this pawn, so it's quite uncomfortable for Carlsen. And so another reminder that Carlsen is up by a pawn, so if he could draw his black game, then with white he would be the overwhelming favorite to just make a draw and win the whole thing. So in that perspective, it's a bit strange that he just sacrificed a pawn. But yeah, so this is how Carlsen sometimes plays. Bishop takes c5 and rook takes c5 and bishop b7. So black wants to take back this d5 pawn, and then the position would be very close to equal. However, it's not that easy to take it back, because white has the rook defending and the queen defending. So, and also the black pieces are not yet that active. So black very much fights for equalizing. Now Caruana played knight b3. The idea is that this knight can go to a5 and then go to c6. And this is how the game will go. So black plays queen d7, Caruana jumps to a5, and bishop e8. And now the knight jumps back to c6. And this is the position that now actually white managed to sort of stabilize his position, and this d5 pawn is very much protected. The c6 knight is just an amazing piece. And yeah, this starts to look really, really bad for Carlsen. So he plays rook e8. Now the other knight comes to also reinforce this knight. Carlsen plays queen d6, and b4 protects the rook. So it looks just worse and worse with black. Rook e4, now queen f3, another developing move, rook f e8, and knight jumps to f5 with a tempi attacking the queen. Now black plays queen d7, and Caruana slowly starts to improve his position. He thinks that black has nothing really to do, and he's probably right. So I just plays g3. This is a very good move. It takes away the f4 square from both the rook and the knight, opens the back rank for the king, makes some lufter and the king. So now the game goes to this phase when white is just a lot better and slowly develops his position. Black plays h6, making some lufter and his king as well. Now white pushes h4. Also in the future probably playing h5 to chase away this knight. Now black plays king h8, Carlsen didn't see any better move. The knight jumps back, king g8. So, and again, it's important that these are very short time controlled games, and Carlsen was early in very deep time trouble, only remaining about 1 minute, while Caruana had a little bit more, but also just a few minutes. So this is why Carlsen just played this h6, king goes here and there, because he didn't see anything else and he had absolutely no time to think. Now Caruana develops his rook fc1, and the knight jumps back. Now this knight comes forward, knight h7, and white plays king g2 to further strengthen his position. However, this king on g2 is somewhat suspicious, because you can see that there is this long diagonal which is controlled by the back bishop. So king g2 is a little bit strange to move into this diagonal. Now black plays king h8, and here comes the move that just surprised everyone. This is an amazing move, but requires a lot of guts to make it, because it also looks very risky. So at this position you can again stop the video and think about how we would continue with white. So actually white basically reached the maximum of his position. He has this d5 pass pawn, which is an extra pawn. The knights are beautiful. The rooks are double on the c file. The queen is active. The king is safe. The pawns are looking as good as they could. So it is the time to strike with the white pieces to find to deliver the final blow. And here comes an amazing move that just, like, once they tell you that this is a great move, you do understand. But to find this in a very short time controlled game and actually think about this move is very nice. So Caruana plays knight b8. So the first point to make is that the knight is actually not hanging, because this rook would be hanging. So rook takes b8 just gives up an exchange, because queen takes e4 takes the e4 knight. And the idea is that after knight b8, actually this is a double attack. The a6 pawn is also hanging, not just the queen. So black plays queen d8, and actually Caruana repeats one time. They go back, and after this knight b8, queen d8, he takes on the a6 pawn. So temporarily the knight is at the side of the board, and white also gave up this very beautiful d5 pawn, and now the bishop is taking it, and now there is this long diagonal as well, which both the queen and the king is on. However, Caruana managed to calculate very precisely and played knight c7. So this is another double attack. Everything is hanging in the black camp, but black can play bishop b7. This is what Carlsen did. And now after knight takes e8, rook e7 goes back to protect the bishop. So now white actually loses his queen. However, at this point already, white has a rook up, and now Caruana can take on b7, winning another bishop. And when the rook takes back, this knight can go and jump back to d6. And this is the position that probably Caruana foresaw when he played this beautiful knight b8 move. The thing is that black is just losing all his pieces. So just to count the number of threats, so the very obvious ones are that the rook is hanging, and there is rook c8 that wins the queen. At the same time, once a rook enters to the back rank, actually the black king has a problem, so it's even mated. So black probably even has to sacrifice his knight to solve the back rank issue. And at the same time, if the rook goes just back, say rook b8, then there is also knight takes f7 fork. So seeing all this, Carlsen just decided to immediately throw in the towels and started to get ready for the next game. So at this point, this was the 11th game. Caruana is now up by 2 points, and there is only one game remaining when Carlsen will be with the white pieces. And if Carlsen manages to win, then he will be the champion. Otherwise, Caruana will win this clutch chess tournament. And as for the next game, I make a separate video about the last game of this chess tournament. So see you in that video.